With many of the league's superstars aging into their 30s, we're seeing a select few of young guns primed to take their places at the helm of the NBA. And one of these brightest stars has to be the young fellow out of Duke, Jayson Tatum. While the Boston Celtics have had a disappointing season, Tatum has established himself as a star, earning his second All-Star nod while upping his averages in points, rebounds, assists, and field goal percentage. And while it's been a pleasant breakthrough, NBA fans are far from surprised as the skilled Duke prospect was already showing flashes of elite skill paired with an already NBA body. Today we're going to find out just how he maintained that body because we're talking about Jayson Tatum's insane diet and workout. Before we get started, we'd love for you to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below so we can put these videos out more for you guys. Without further ado, Jay's Beef Up. Coming into his lone season at Duke, Tatum already stood out in part due to his high school output, which had him ranked as the third best prospect going into college, and in part to his superior size and shape. Standing at 6'8" with an above-average wingspan and strong shoulders, Tatum was able to bully not as developed players, proving to scouts that not only was he a top 5 lock in the draft, but he was also ready to contribute to a team immediately. Attending a program as coveted as Duke was a wise choice for Tatum, as not only did they do aerobics, spin class, and workouts as a team, but they were also fortunate enough to have a nutritionist for the team. Some might call the attention to their players' health an investment. As long as Duke could extend their season, the more and more money the program could take in. But most importantly for Tatum, he was able to put the emphasis on his body instead of falling into the junk food trap that so many other college players fall into. So from the jump, Tatum had a rather run-of-the-mill yet valuable diet for his game, sticking to mostly lean proteins while cutting down carbs and sugars. This has kept Tatum muscular yet lean, and he's able to play a lot of his minutes at the 4, not getting pushed around on defense, but also leaning quick enough to blow by the opposition on the other end. All this being said, Tatum does have his cheat meals, and his favorite may not be what you think. If he's looking to fly off the rails a bit, Tatum's gonna down a pizza. Not a weird cheat meal, I know. But the real debate in this comes in its style, as Tatum has thrown all his support behind St. Louis-style pizza. Now, usually the argument is Chicago deep dish versus New York style, but Tatum decides to throw a curveball in this whole discussion. If you don't know what St. Louis-style pizza is, it's essentially a super thin crust topped with sauce and a Provel cheese, a processed cheese created in St. Louis which can be replicated by combining Swiss, sharp cheddar, and smoked provolone. Oh, and then the entire pizza is usually doused in oregano. As far as pizzas go, it's a hit or miss depending on the person. But with the fierce pizza debate in this country, it was a bold pick for Tatum to choose it as his #1 cheat meal and is probably the most controversial thing about the young star. Since entering the league, Tatum is trained with a star's mentality. Even though Tatum has been on the lean side for his size so far in his career, with the shifting play style of the league, he's found more and more minutes at the power forward position, facing off against some of the biggest wings and bigs in the league. So with the quick exit from the bubble postseason, Tatum got to work putting some muscle on, hitting the weight room quietly. While there wasn't so much time between seasons, Tatum was able to gain a solid 10 pounds coming into the year, helping him fare better against the bigger forwards in the league. This was especially important to the team, as one of the biggest flaws of the Celtics coming into this year is their lack of depth at the 4 and 5. So even though the Celtics are still struggling, Tatum's weight gain is a huge positive for the team this year. But perhaps the most influential workout didn't come from the weight room, and instead manifested itself in a gym. After his decent rookie season, Tatum was fortunate enough to get a one-on-one workout with the great Kobe Bryant. Tatum, like most players would have been, was absolutely thrilled to practice with his idol, telling Steven Jackson and Mac Barnes on All the Smoke podcast that, "I was like a kid in a candy store. I kept talking to myself like, I'm working out with Kobe. I couldn't believe it at the time." Once they got down to work, Tatum said they didn't work on anything outside of his wheelhouse. Only things Kobe had already watched Tatum try to do on the court already. Tatum said of the occasion, "It was all little things to think about. That's what I really took from it. The little things that he would think about that I never really heard anyone else and how they approached the game." A lot of what they worked on was creating separation with jab steps and crossovers, something Tatum had been showing more and more of us as he picks up his isolation play. But believe it or not everybody was thrilled that the 18-time All-Star and 5-time champion was training with the young star. In fact, ESPN's Tim Bontemps wrote that the Celtics need to de-Kobe Tatum's game, writing, "He'd dribble into difficult mid-range shots, including fadeaways. Those were shots Kobe Bryant, who worked with Tatum in the summer of 2018, made a living taking and making. But the NBA has evolved into a league hyper-focused on shots at the rim and beyond the arc, and last year Tatum didn't take enough of either." Among the 96 players who had at least 100 direct isolations last season, according to data from Second Spectrum, Tatum ranked dead last in efficiency with an average of .70 of a point per play. And while parts of Bontemps' claim were true, the NBA is evolving out of the mid-range and Tatum was the least efficient in direct isolations that year, he was missing the fact that Tatum was only in his second year and already had the biggest role on the team's offense. Nobody's going to be incredibly efficient carrying the load that early in their career. And Tatum made a point to take the blame off Kobe, saying, "I'm still going to shoot at the mid-range. I've seen all the people talking about the de-Kobeing. Kobe didn't teach me anything bad. Everything we talked about he showed me was great. Last year with the jump I didn't make that everybody expected, it was not his fault. He's one of the greatest ever, so everything he taught me was, I'm very grateful and it helped me out. I got to take responsibility for how I played last year not being a big of a jump that everybody thought, but I'm still going to shoot mid-range." And Tatum has gone on to prove himself right, making his first All-Star team the next year and having a career season as a 3-level scorer this year, even going off for a Kobe-like 60-point game and an incredible comeback win. So despite the pushback, it's no surprise that the once-in-a-lifetime workout was a tremendous boost for Tatum's already budding career. Now that the season's coming to an end, it's time to see how Tatum can take his personal success and growth and translate it to the team. That's it for today. Where do you stand on St. Louis pizza style? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos if you like what you saw here today.